jobs of the future. Jerry Brown knows how to do that. He's a proven leader. He knows how to create jobs. So are we going to get the vote out for Jerry Brown to create jobs? Jerry Brown was talking about solar energy, wind power. Yes. He was telling California about climate change and global warming way back when, before any of us really got it. Thank you, Jerry Brown, for leading the way on climate change and on making sure that we understand that we have to be independent from foreign sources of oil. As Attorney General now, Jerry Brown is fighting corruption on a variety of fronts. Look at just what he's doing in the city of Bell, trying to make sure that corrupt politicians are dealt with the way they need to be dealt with in our state. And he's doing that.
Yeah.
Jerry Brown is Secretary, and I'd forgotten Jerry, Secretary of State. He actually led the charge for the Fair Political Practices Commission. He really understands that we have to have some integrity and some fairness in our political system. To have a governor who gets that is remarkable, and we are so proud of the fact that we will, if we all vote on Tuesday, have a governor who will bring some integrity back into this political process.
Yeah.
And finally, let me just say to Jerry how much we appreciate what you're doing for California and the public. Public service is difficult. We all know that. I know that. But Jerry's made a lot of sacrifices all of his life. He loves the state. He's lived here all of his life. His family made some significant changes in this state so that we all could have a quality of life that we so deserve. And so thank you, Jerry Brown, for the sacrifices that you made. Thank you for wanting to do this one more time, because we have to make sure that all of our votes are cast and counted on Tuesday. Thank you, and have a good tour of the state, and make sure
Thank you. Thanks. By the way, I'm standing on a table made in Berkeley, California, at Berkeley Wells.
That's right.
And it's very strong. We can all stand on that table. And that's the kind of foundation we need to support our state as we go forward. Anyway, thanks for being here. Just kicking off this last phase of the campaign. I've done this, excuse me, many times, and I always find it exciting. It's ever new, and I look at some of the faces, and you're not as new as you were 20 years ago, but you're still here, some of you, and many of you are new and fresh, and that's good too. And whoops, somebody fell down. By the way, that's the press trying to distract me. Now, don't drop your camera on my head, because we have some trial lawyers here, and they're very good at taking care of those kind of problems. Anyway, I wanted to, before my thought was so unceremoniously diverted, I wanted to say, we're right here. This is the first building where I started. This was a place with a lot of vegetables in the end of 1993, and I bought this building and the one next door, and then I built the building around the corner. And across the street was a vacant lot. And that building, I learned a lot. And I want to just mention that because Claudia Caprio was here. She's part of the planning, was part of the planning department in Oakland. And we built that building. The neighbors said before it was going to have one more story. And they said that'd be terrible. It would have shadows and there'd be too much traffic. Well, you notice, well, we built it anyway. And we had to fight. Now, we had to bring down one story. And so this morning as I walked in, I looked, would it have been so bad if we had one more story on that building and a few more people? And the answer is no. So I learned a lesson there, that sometimes you got to listen, but sometimes you got to roll over the opposition. And if we're going to get people to work, we got to create some jobs. And we got to build stuff. You know? And that's what I want to do. You know, whether it's roads or high-speed rail or fixing bridges, or driving out 880, you notice it's not so good there? A lot of potholes. That could put a lot of people to work. And driving down these streets here, we got to put Californians to work. And wherever I can find a way to get that with federal money, bond money, local money, we'll do that. Because, you know, the people who aren't here and who aren't working, I think about them, and I really want to do everything I can. And I'm going to be banging on the door of President Obama and the Congress, because they got to help too. Putting people to work, putting California to work is really important. And the other thing about building things, by the way, every building, as you'll go across the street looking all the way down, was built after I became mayor. And every building somebody objected to. And I said, we don't have enough buildings. Because when people live close together, doesn't it feel better that you're so dense in this building here? This is what we call elegant density. Just here, this rally here is elegant density. Now, you like a little space when you go home at night, but you know, in the urban experience, it can be very, very efficient. And as people, then we want to make it come alive. And Tuesday night, we're going to be at the Fox Theater. And the Fox Theater is a brand new, revitalized part of the downtown of Oakland. When I say it's brand new, it's actually since 1929, but we actually brought it back to life. And that's really, I think, an essence of how I see California. We build on the tradition, we take what was, and we constantly renew and reinvigorate, but we're also open to new ideas. So it's the new, but it's also respect for tradition and the old. And that's what California is. It's not just we're going to have it all brand new, reinvented. No, it's a continuity. It's a continuing flowering of what was and what is and what will be. So I'm excited about being part of that process. And of course, I have to say, I don't want it too new because, you know, I've been around for a while. So I have to take that into account. But the thing that I see here in the state, it's endless in the possibilities. And we got some very tough times. You know, we've had the fat years and you have the lean years. Those of you who still read the Bible know there's some seven fat years and you get 7 lean years. So I don't want to tell you where we are in that process. But we got some tough times coming ahead. It's just going to be some tough decisions. It's just the way it is. And ultimately you got to live within your means. And that's certainly going to be the spirit of the next year if I'm elected governor. And I'm going to be very faithful to that. But at the same time, we want to realize this is a very wealthy place. 1.8 trillion of new wealth was created last year. That's incredible. Almost nowhere else in the world, 7 other countries did better than that. So we have the resources, we got the people, we have the weather, we have the beauty, we have the ports, the mountains. We have it all. And we have the giants. And I want to say something about, because my opponent's been talking a lot about Texas and how great Texas is. Well, I hope we're going to show on the playing fields that California is #1 in every sense, along with the San Francisco Giants. Anyway, just after all this campaign and all the ads and all that you're here this hour of the morning, thank you very much. I mean, it's a renewal of faith and enthusiasm, and that's what we're going to need going forward, because as we go through difficulties, the important part is that we bear these burdens equally. And there's a lot of unequal burden sharing today. Right. I mean, and that is a problem. And how you adjust that, because you can't, the society is pretty well built in all its different rules and habits and customs. So you can only make a certain amount of change. We want to make sure when we have an opportunity to make a decision, we always think about what's fair, how does this affect the least among us, and how do we all pull together as Californians first. And that's the spirit that I want to go forward today and for the next 4 years in the state of decision. Okay? Yeah. So, I don't know. I think we want to, I don't know what to say after all this. I think we've been saying so many things. I don't want to just complete, you know, I don't like to say the same old, same old. That's one of the reasons I'm always getting off script. Now, some candidates feel very secure with message discipline. I get very bored with that. Because for me, life is a continuing discovery and creation. And that's what schooling is, and that's what, you know, life is. And going over the next couple of years, we really have to be creative. Because right now, there's some problems that look very, very difficult. In fact, most people don't have an answer to them. So we got to figure it out together. And that's a very creative process, an open process. And I'm going to listen to people from all sides, assuming I get there. So I don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched. But thank you for helping me get there. We got to work between now and Tuesday. We're going to go all over California and just speak the truth, tell it like it is, straight talk, optimism, because we're Californians, we can do it, but also a very sober assessment of what's up ahead. So that's the kind of the combined message, a little sweet, a little sour, all the different things we talk about, tough love, but it's just what life is, right? That's what it is. And we've had...
Got your back, Jerry.
Okay, I think I'll stop there because if I might say something that I might regret. So that's it. Thank you very much.